as the user HR through this connection. Before I actually start writing a query, I'm going to describe one of the functions which are available. It's a character function called the upper function. Now, the upper function is used to convert a character string, which is sent to it as its input, to an uppercase string. Now, if I wanted to test the result of, let's say, the upper function, I know that the name of the function is upper. It receives as its input a character string. So I'm passing a character string to it, the word hello in lowercase. And what I expect the function to do is give me an output. But what would happen is when I execute the statement, I'm going to get an error. The reason is the call to the function must always be part of another statement. And one of the statements within which you can call a function is a select statement. Now I'm going to write a query that I discussed in part 2 of querying a table. Here I showed you that if you make a reference to a constant in a select statement, such as, let's say, select hello from the employees table, what you will get is the string hello displayed for this and the same number of times as there are rows in the table. So if there are 107 rows in the table, the word hello is being displayed 107 times. Here the word hello was what we would call as a character constant in the select statement. Now I'm going to modify the select statement so that a call to the upper function is being made. I'm saying select upper of hello from employees, and this time you're going to get an output. A valid output, but you will see that the word hello is now displayed in uppercase. So you can imagine what really happened was that the word hello was sent as input to the upper function. The upper function returned the word hello in uppercase. That string was then a constant that was generated for this select statement, repeating the word hello in uppercase 107 times. So what we noticed is that we could make a call to the function in the select statement, but what we did was we used one of the tables in the schema of the user that we were logged on as. Now, if I was trying to test the function upper and I wanted to see what the output of an upper function would be, what I really needed was the name of a table that would display the result only one time to me. That is where we make use of a predefined table known as the dual table. The dual table already exists in the database and is available to every single user of the database. All you really have to do is call the table by its name. So here I'm calling the upper function using the dual table, and notice that the result is appearing only one time. Just for you to have a look at what the structure of the dual table is, I'm going to do a query select star from dual, and the dual table displays a column called dummy, and it has one row in which the value is x. So the dual table is a table that I'm going to use very frequently when I'm going to show you the different types of functions which are available in Oracle. And this table is very useful for me to test the result of a function, just to be able to see what a function does and to see the value displayed only one time. Now, the next section of this tutorial, I'm going to show you snippets which are available in SQL Developer. And you can invoke snippets by selecting the menu option of View followed by Snippets. And what you'll get is a tab called Snippets, and there's a drop-down list where a list of different types of functions are displayed. We have aggregate functions, analytic functions, character functions, conversion functions, and other types of functions which are available. And under each of these categories, you'll have specific functions listed. Now let me just take you to the group known as the character functions. And when I selected it, a list of different functions are being displayed to me on the screen. I have functions called chr, concat, initcap, and so on. And what you can see is a general syntax. When I move the pointer to that particular function, I get a tooltip which tells me exactly what the function is supposed to do, and it also defines what the argument will be. The character n over here represents the fact that the chr function receives as its input a number. The concat function receives two arguments as its input. Both of them are character strings. Now, the snippets are very, very useful if you're not completely sure as to what the argument to a function is, or what are the number of arguments a function would receive. And all you have to do is drop the list down and then select the function and drop it onto the SQL worksheet window. Now let's say I wanted to write a select statement using the upper function. This time I want to use it from the snippets tab. What I'm going to do is, here I've gone to the upper function, I'm now going to select it and I'm going to drag it and drop it into the SQL worksheet window. Notice that the function has now appeared inside the window. What I will only have to do is change its argument. And over here I wanted to display, let's say, what the result of upper of Oracle would be. I've discussed the fact that if I'm trying to test the function, I'd make use of the dual table. So I'm going to call this function using the dual table and I'm going to execute the statement, and I see that the upper function returns the result of Oracle in uppercase. So in this tutorial I showed you snippets and I discussed what the dual table was. I also gave you the definition of functions and single row functions. In subsequent tutorials, I'm going to discuss specific functions under different categories. I'm going to discuss character functions in my next tutorial. I hope you have found this tutorial